Okay, this is a Toyota Avensis door wiring speaker deal. Okay, what happened was the speaker went out on this left-hand side. After much toing and froing, well, we'll do that first. That's an Alpine SEX 1325S 5¼ inch speaker, and it's too small for the doors. So I'm going to take that out and put the original back in. Now, what I did was I started back here. Okay, I didn't have any music, so I took this apart. I tried one of my own little speakers, and I got no results. And that should have told me there was no juice getting to the wires, but I didn't believe it. So I went to the junkyard. I got another speaker, and I plugged it in, and it still didn't work. So I started checking the wiring to see if I could get a speaker here. That's the speaker wires. It goes up to the little tweeter. That comes through the door, goes through the door, goes over here, pink and purple over here. So I tried it over here. I didn't have any juice over here. Now this wire that you see now, what that is, that's a jumper wire coming from the output of the stereo, which is not new, but a Sony. I've replaced the original unit with the Sony, and you can see the installation's not too bad at all, really. You take out the CD player that's in there, and then you hook up the adapter. And the best part, I was worried about losing my computer. I like that little computer, tells me the mileage and stuff. So that still stayed up, but you've lost the controls on the steering wheels, but that doesn't matter to me. So anyway, I got my Bluetooth working right now. The only problem is it's not keeping its memory. So every time I turn it off, it loses its memory. And I haven't figured out why that is yet. So that's another issue. But anyway, so what I did was I found the speaker wires coming out of the back of the stereo on the stereo side of the harness. And then I matched them up to the other side of the harness, the output side onto the Toyota side. Soldered a couple of wires into there, brought them down to here. At first I was going to run this wire all the way through, but then you can't believe how complicated it is to get a wire through there. So I stopped and thought, oh, okay, I'll test it here. So I tested it there, put a wire onto there before I soldered it all, and I got juice. So now this wire was for this speaker because it has different pins on the back. So now I got to take this. You either take this apart. Probably take that apart and put the Toyota speaker back on. Now, okay, this Toyota speaker has to have some rivets, and they're pretty fat rivets. So I'll show you what I'm going to do with that in a little while. But now, getting back to taking the door apart. Oh, 3 minutes already. Okay, it's not all that complicated. There's a bunch of little plastic guys here. There's a couple of screws you got to look out for in the armrest. There's one down in the armrest there. It's covered. You have to take the armrest out to take the door off. Then you can unplug the armrest if you need to. The speaker grill does not come off from the outside. Okay, you can't get it off from the outside, so you have to take the door off. And if you wanted to take that speaker grill off, you'd have to drill out the holes in the back because it's on there. So, and look at that. Isn't that brilliant, the amount of insulation that they use on these doors? Look at that. That's why it rides so nice and quiet. And this door was all nice and sealed up to keep the water out, and I just got to try and make sure I do that when I put it back together. So there we are, just in time for the rain.